It's 10 a.m. This is the News Desk with me, Israel. Like our top stories, minority in parliament to push for a parliamentary probe into abandoned health facilities across the country. Would hear from the coalition of NGOs in health. Chief of Offensive Task Security head in the town to find ways of dealing with the growing concerns on internet fraudsters. Details of these and other stories, plus business and sports in this bulletin. Please stay with us. The minority in parliament says it will push for a parliamentary probe into the various abandoned health facilities across the country. Ranking member on the Select Committee on Health, Kwabena Mintakando, argues that loans worth over millions of dollars procured to construct the facilities are not being put to the intended use. The Minority Caucus on the Select Committee on Health has been touring a number of these facilities and was at the Yellow Crow District Hospital on Tuesday. The 120-bed health facility, which was completed in January this year and handed over to government, is yet to be put to its intended use, despite calls on the health minister to ensure the facility starts working. Here's Chrissy Parker-Wilson's report.
This is the Yellow Crow District Hospital. We are told that this facility was completed and handed over to government January this year or early this year. Well, the assurances was that the facility will see some operationalization by August this year.
The ministry has applied for financial clearance for recruitment of support staff. And when this is approved, the swimming at this hospital will be allocated with the requisite support staff to enable operations to commence. Meanwhile, clinical staff have been identified and will soon be posted to the facility. We are anticipating that the hospital will be commissioned before the end of August 2021.
Well, that hasn't happened. The member of parliament for the area is unhappy with the situation. He fears this project would also add up to the number of abandoned projects across the country. He's asking government and the health minister to quickly ensure that this project is put to use.
So I had the opportunity to file a question to ask the minister to come and open the hospital. And he said the hospital was going to be open soon. I think that was in June. Up to today, the place is lying idle. Our people don't have access to healthcare because the hospital is very small. It's a health center. And a lot of people are coming from all villages and they cannot get access to the place. So I'm taking the opportunity to call on the government that this hospital must be open soon, must be open now for our people to get healthcare. If we keep it like this, then we are actually causing financial loss to the state because all the money is here, all the investment is here, and our people do not have access to healthcare.
Ranking member on the health committee who toured the project to see that indeed is a completed facility which rated its call to government and also indicated that the minority will ensure that government really complete all the projects that have been abandoned.
My understanding was that it should have been in operation by now. So when I was coming, I thought I was going to see medical doctors and nurses in this facility. Unfortunately, it's been handed over technically to the ministry and they're still idling. If you're not very careful, you see the grasses have started growing weedy, and very soon the facilities will also start deteriorating. So I think that I will add to the appeal from the MP that government must immediately operationalize this facility for the people in the area to get a full benefit of the facility.
For Joy News, I'm reporting from the Yellow Crow District Hospital.
So I'm hoping to get to speak with Dr. Gabriel Benaku, who is advisor to the coalition of NGOs in health, to get to understand the actual extent of the challenge. But Health Minister Dr. Kwekwa has reiterated government's commitment to provide resources needed to promote health care. Speaking on behalf of the Vice President at the inauguration of the Methodist Oral Health School Complex, the Health Minister assured the gathering government is working to expand infrastructure in the training of health professionals at all levels. He said dental health is critical in the total healthcare delivery system. Mahmoud Mohamed Nuruddin has more.
And also
the 3 million Ghana cedis facility was constructed by the Methodist Church with support from Rotary clubs in Kumasi, among others. The facility will provide one-stop dental and oral health care services, as well as serve as the first oral health nursing training school. It will also bridge the gap in the training of oral health professionals in the country, as at 2018 the dentist population ratio was estimated at 1 to 150,000. The Minister of Health, Dr. Kweku Ajimamenu, in a statement read on behalf of the Vice President, commended the Methodist Church for its pioneering role in quality health care delivery in the country.
The Methodist Church Ghana is one such key stakeholder. Through its Methodist health system, the church has set up 4 hospitals and 21 health centers in 8 regions across the country. Few of the hospitals in Wenchi and Attahakudia serve as district hospitals. In 2020, the Methodist health system provided healthcare services to over 10% of the catchment population where its facilities are located for general consultation, antenatal care, and childhood immunization. The hospitals treated over 22,000 inpatients and carried out 8,584 emergency and elective surgical procedures. In addition to healthcare, the Methodist Church has an enviable track record of promoting quality education and raising responsible citizens in Ghana. I urge the Church to keep up the good work and use its platform to encourage the citizens to make lifestyle choices that promote good health and well-being. As added prevention is better than cure.
He said government is working to expand infrastructure in the training of health professionals at all levels.
Government is committed to promoting healthcare and will continue to provide the needed resources and support to enhance the health infrastructure for the benefits of our people. In addition to the many interventions, we continue to expand and equip medical schools to train more medical doctors to improve the local patient rate.
Chief Executive Officer of the Methodist Hospital at Ankasi, Joseph Atta Amankwa, reiterated their commitment to improving health care delivery in the country. He said the new facility has modern equipment to train health professionals.
We have taken into consideration quality as well as blending local content in the construction and finishing. Besides the Honorable Minister Nananum invited guests. The hospital, through its collaborators, both Ghana and abroad, has spent a little over 3 million Ghana cedis in the project, which covers construction, equipment, and finishing. The project includes 7 offices, 2 storerooms, conference room, reception, 12 washrooms, large outpatient area, 9 surgeries with 7 dental units, 2 counseling rooms, 2 student changing rooms, fully equipped CCSE, fully equipped laboratory, fully equipped X-ray room, and 3 fully equipped student classrooms.
The Executive Director of the Christian Health Association of Ghana, Dr. Peter Yeboah, noted access to oral health care is essential to the promotion of the general health of the people. According to him, poor oral health awareness coupled with limited infrastructure and trained professionals make access difficult for the majority of Ghanaians.
President said, by the intent to produce critical oral health care professionals and to promote access to oral health care that is safe, timely, effective, efficient, equitable, and patient-centered, the Methodist Oral Health School Complex is aligning perfectly to Ghana's roadmap of achieving universal health coverage by 2020. And thankfully, our Honorable Minister defines universal health coverage to be timely access to high-quality health services, irrespective of ability to pay at the point of need. Honorable, we are grateful for your leadership and that is to attain universal health coverage.
The presiding bishop of the Methodist Church, Most Reverend Dr. Paul Kwabena Boafo, said the provision of the facility was a consolidation of the partnership between the church and the government to provide quality healthcare services to the people. A report by Mohammed Nuruddin.
We're turning to our earlier story on the health facilities that the minorities say have been abandoned across the country. We've been joined on phone by Dr. Gabriel Benanko, who's advisor to the Coalition of NGOs in Health. Good morning to you, Dr. Benanko. So I'm sure you have been paying attention to the tour by the minority. How widespread is the problem?
Yeah, thank you, and good morning, Ghana. Yeah, this is not a new thing. Over the last 4 years, we've been talking about it, abandoned health projects, uncompleted health projects, unupgraded health facilities, and new facilities emerging. So they are actually an issue that government and partners need to look at it seriously.
What has been your understanding of why these projects have been left idle?
Well, it's only God who knows. We have articulated this with the Minister of Health. We have talked to all political parties in the 2020 election for them to do something about it. We have tried to play a watchdog role by naming and shaming some personnel who are managing or who are supposed to ensure that health facilities are properly put to use. But we still don't understand why we still have more health facilities that need to be upgraded, that need to be used, and that need to be completed.
Now, for now, let's focus on the ones that have been completed or that can be worked on to be finished. When you engage the politicians or the leaders, what is it that they're telling you is the difficulty?
Okay, let me give you some few examples, and then we can all appreciate. You knew that you are aware we have done this with joy severally when the University of Ghana Medical Health Center was claimed that it was not ready for use.
Yeah.
After we have talked more about this when I was the national chair for the coalition, and Joy also came out with a lot of publicity. Later on, the stakeholders, the health minister and his team decided to use it. Just after they started using it, COVID came, and now the place became very important for national response on COVID. So that tells you one critical thing that advocacy has done for the benefit of Ghanaians across the country.
All right, so looking at the UGMC issue, one of the concerns that came up was they had to get the adequate staff, and they also had to install a standby generator and a number of things. Are these some of the excuses that you get?
Yes, my brother. These are hardcore facts that those facilities, to the best of my knowledge, right from 2012, I was monitoring every health facility being put or being completed or being halfway, 90% complete. And I say this everywhere. The University of Ghana Medical Center was ready to be used. You cannot, any health expert will tell you, you cannot finish a health facility completely before you start using it. You always have to start using it while you put in place other things. And when you go to every facility, especially a hospital, you continue to upgrade it based on the data you are getting in serving people. That informs you on how you can upgrade it. For example, you start with OPD, with emergency, but you get data from OPD that tells you that you need to upgrade it to some specialized services that you need to put in place. And then you continue to upgrade it until when the facility is much more resilient. So every health facility in Ghana, fortunately, the Ministry of Health, Ghana Health Service, they have a standard of what they call hospital, specialized health center, district hospital, polyclinic, chip compound. They have a standard. So once you are putting up a health facility, it's already approved that it's supposed to be like this. And therefore, you have to work to ensure that it's being put to use to respond to the reasons why it was put to use. It was put in the plan for the construction. And then we have serious challenges in Ghana where we have health facilities, they are not completed. You have health facilities, they are not used to the fullest. You have health facilities that nobody cares about them. Sometimes we make political games out of it, but health issues cannot be compromised. I keep on saying this over the last 6 years as I was the national chair. You cannot compromise health. You can do for other sectors like education, agriculture. But when you compromise health standards, one life is lost, you cannot get it back. So it's high time all stakeholders, especially the Ministry of Health, take a serious response to the public cry that let's upgrade health facilities that are underutilized. Let's complete health facilities that are not completed. Let's use those that are completed, but we have not utilized them well. And this issue will be a plus to government and all state protocols. Health issue cannot be compromised.
It's true, except I'm sure that we would hear that it has to also do with finance, and we probably don't have all the funds to get to do these things, all of them.
Israel, if you like, let me take you around the country at the district level. You see health service being offered under trees. So if you have a structure that you are already put in place, let me give you a typical example. In Doma, about 3 years ago, we went there, a community that was supposed to be earmarked and have a structure for chip compound. They were using trees under trees to offer ANC, child welfare services. The coalition received funding and we went to Doma in that community to put up a structure there. Go and see today. The place has been upgraded. The place is being used as a proper flesh center that is receiving more people who are seeking health services. So when you have a facility like that, and NGOs are talking about it, it's not because we just want to talk. It's because we know that it is the best alternative for now. If you put to use, it can serve a lot of people. And so, with all due respect, politicians need to really sit up to ensure that health facilities are responding to the needs of the people.
All right.
You are aware of the Kumayiku issue we raised in 2019 and 2020.
All right. What was the issue with that?
A facility which is supposed to serve over 300,000 people and is not completed. The government has talked about it severally and it's still not completed. Stakeholder has been told it will be completed and it's not completed. And people are running over 100 kilometers to seek for health services. You can imagine the cost and the depression that people face to seek health services. That one alone is also a medical condition. You can imagine people who are sitting close to a facility that is constructed and who is supposed to serve a purpose over the last 4 years and is not being put to use. You can imagine how stakeholders feel about it.
All right.
So it's a serious matter that without any hesitation, the leadership in the health sector must wake up and take a serious look at the health facilities we have in this country and find a way of collaborating with development partners, civil society, the community leaders, the media to make sure that they are properly projected in a positive way, to make sure that they are properly put to use to respond to the health needs of the people. That is a plus. And everybody would love to see that within the next, the radius of 50 kilometers, they have a district hospital that they can rely on. They have a polyclinic that they can rely on. And they have a referral facility at the regional level they can rely on. We need to really act as a country, and we need to support government to realize that there's the need for proactiveness in managing and using health facilities in Ghana.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Benanku. Dr. Gabriel Benanku is advisor to Coalition of NGOs in Health. Away from health-related stories, 4 persons have been confirmed dead in Monday night's flooding in parts of the Ashanti region. According to the National Disaster Management Organization, 4 bodies, including 2 9-year-olds, have been retrieved, but 2 others who went missing at Ahima Kokobeng are yet to be found. Nana Aljima has more in the following report.
At Kromwase, a 9-year-old boy who went missing in the rain with 2 others got drowned on Monday. At Daban, another girl of the same age also died. The 3rd incident was also recorded at Sokoban. Administrator at NADMU, Nana Attahakudia, confirms the deaths.
This is the account that we've received from the assembly members and our officers who have confirmed the incident to us. Yes, we will continue to search. We will continue to search. And currently, as I'm speaking to you, search team is underway. The search team for each particular location of incident is underway.
Close to 3 hours of torrential rains left part of the Kumasi-Obuasi road flooded for hours. 2 people who are still missing were part of a group of 3 who joined a Kia truck but jumped off as the floods pulled the vehicle to the wrong side of the road. Some eyewitnesses confirmed the incident.
We saw the truck being drawn into the drain. The people jumped off and disappeared.
The flood left many people stranded for more than 3 hours. Residents are blaming poor construction of drainage and building in waterways for the flood. It is the 2nd time the area has flooded this year.
All because say in Suoni Kwanya was a femuno or the Senia Sheda Tonsasa.
The waterway is now being filled up for construction, so the path has narrowed.
In Suoni Kwanya was a femuno. I get to where be. I didn't say, Sadia, you're 2 animal. Yako. Nay, Kuhun, I dear way. Now you're free. Address it and when you say,
we have been to the assembly for help, but they haven't acted, even though they have visited the place.
Other areas of the city witnessed similar incidents. At Inshaeso near Ahojo, neighbors managed to rescue a man in his late 40s from drowning. His pickup truck was drawn into the stream after losing balance in the flood. Part of a recently constructed bridge has caved in to increasing flood. For Joy News, Nana Aljima, Kumasi.
Let's get an update on this from the Ashanti Region NADMO Administrator Nana Attahakudia. He joins me via phone. Good morning to you, Nana Kodia. We were told that 2 people are still missing. Have you been able to retrieve these bodies yet?
Yeah, greeting to the public. The 2 bodies which were left uncovered, this very morning we have located one of the bodies, and currently as I'm speaking to you, we are on our way. NADMO is leading the body together with the police to lodge it at the Konfanoche mortuary.
All right, so that will bring the number of confirmed dead to 5, leaving one more body yet to retrieve.
Exactly. Yesterday, we were able to, the various security teams retrieved 3. One from Kromwase Afasiebon in the Atumakwangoma district, involving a 9-year-old boy. Then we were also able to retrieve the 9-year-old girl who passed on or who got drawn at Daban Penny in Shiayeso sub-metro of KMA. And then the third one that we located and retrieved was at the bridge, those who perished on the bridge between Enyinem and Ahinema Kokobin. And just this morning, our SEC team has been able to locate a second body, leaving one still outstanding.
All right, speaking...
And the SEC team is ongoing.
Now, speaking with some of the residents, we get the understanding that there's some waterway that has been blocked because people have reclaimed the lands and are building on them. Is that what NADMO is also getting?
Come again, please.
So I'm saying that speaking with some of the residents in the affected communities, we get the understanding that people are built in waterways. Is that the understanding that NADMO also has?
Yes, it's a challenge. It's a challenge because sometimes back, such areas were left as part of the river bank and they were tagged as nature reserves. But what we see today is that people are developing in such areas, meaning that they have acquired those lands from the traditional owners. And some of these developments, you could see that they are not those who are putting up such structures are worthy people. And then they will prove to you that they have attained the necessary permits from their respective assemblies. So it's a challenge.
No, but it's a challenge. Are you saying that it's a challenge that you can't deal with? Isn't it possible for NADMO to go in?
Yes, NADMO is doing what we can.
How is NADMO dealing with it?
We will map up. We have already done that the survey of the low-lying areas that we term as flood-prone areas. We have submitted stat data and the recommendations to the respective district assemblies, municipal assemblies, and the metro, asking them to continuously or at regular intervals do the silting of such rivers and streams and storm drains crisscrossing the cities and the towns. But it's up to the assemblies to live up to expectations.
Now, we
have done our part.
All right, so that's fine.
We will continue to educate the public.
Okay, that's fine.
We don't have allies that will empower us to pull down such structures. So we will always hide behind that ally that the local government has, so that they will rather do what is needed.
Nana Attahakudia, Nana Attahakudia, yes, some of the assemblies, you've told them that they should desilt the drains, but some of the assemblies too are frustrating your work. Why don't you call them out? I mean, you have the opportunity to call out some of those assemblies, the ones that are frustrating your work. Mention them.
For now, we will do a survey of such areas that, and then draw the attention of the regional minister, because the regional minister happens to be the chair of the regional disaster management committee. But I must say that an area like, or a municipal like Oforikrom is doing well. They have carried out the silting of their major streams and rivers ahead of the rains, and we expect that the other municipals and districts and metro should also follow suit. They do, but they do not do it in time, as we expect them to do.
All right. We'd have to leave the conversation here, but thank you very much. Nana Attahakudia, he's Ashanti Regional NADMO Administrator. You're still on News Desk, and the Ashanti region town of Ofinso is gaining notoriety as an enclave of internet fraudsters, popularly known as Sakawa Boys. There's already a public outcry over the suspicious wealth of some youth in the town who opulently display flashy cars on the streets. The heightened fear among residents comes in the wake of the recent disappearance of some children in the town. The chief of Ofinso has tasked security heads in the town to find ways of dealing with the growing concerns. Erastus Asaridonko has more.
Residents of Ofinso say this viral video showing some young men showing off in a flashy convoy of unregistered modern cars boils their blood. In the video, the occupants, described as Sakawa ritual internet fraudsters or scammers, are heard claiming one cannot be like them if they are unable to drink blood.
So this is where you see in the viral video. Behind me is Antoine, and just in front of me is Domi. Where I'm standing is called Amodem. And this is where you see in the video with the young men parading the luxurious vehicles across the street right up there. Now, this is what has become the talk of town, with people describing it as an act of scamming involving men supposed to be engaged in rituals for money.
Some residents narrated personal accounts depicting young men seen carrying coffins half naked in the town's cemetery in the dead of the night. One of the two children who went missing in the town in the past 6 months has been found murdered. Residents link the new craze for unexplained wealth to unexplained murders and disappearances in the town.
Abema kitikiti kura ka wodemu no enye ka ketwa na Ofinso jo saa nema we ne bi enkoso wonti se obi ekum obi wa ha wonti se yakwachichiri obi wa ha wonti saa asem no but enne de saa moja asem nko ana ekoso Ofinso ya
kula voma ira disi ananu ya kola kotes ya baya onya 14 years disi ben 3 days ni hu na no so ba ko ehwa 2 years boy hu betumini dizeni omunu sikan eze untimi no moja untimi ni yakini na ke omu de moja na ye omunya nkuma de wokuremu
mpanfo ko boyira is obayira o call report ko report no kwa we dey coding system wawu hi papa hi say Ofinso yekuru bia agidin Uganda mamia nyina na adwumadie sei ekoso Ofinso mamia sei emwa.
Police will not immediately comment, but our sources say police patrols have been intensified. 2 meetings between Nananum, members of the Municipal Security Council, and opinion leaders have been held in the past days to find solution to the menace. Nana Yaokobia Amenfi is senior linguist to the paramount chief of Ofinso.
We called all the security heads in the municipality to a meeting at the palace. We discussed this particular issue, and they promised to take action. Last week, we also summoned them to the second meeting with assemblymen, the MCE, everybody. We invited all of them to a meeting of Nananum. But we are having some challenges. we have decided that we are organizing an emergency meeting on the 4th, then for the Traditional Council to take final decision, because we've met the security heads, we've met the MCE, the assembly, all the assembly members, and all the security heads in the municipality. But still, no action is taken. Therefore, we want the Traditional Council to take a final resolution on the issue.
The story of Ofinso is a mixture of fear incited by unexplained wealth attained overnight by young people and the disappearance of children, especially the recent murder of a 4-year-old girl. Reporting for Joy News, Erastus Asaredonko, Ofinso, Ashanti region.
Traders and road users in Accra's busiest market, Makola, are incensed over what they say is a neglect of roads in the area. It is the city center of Ghana's capital, with hundreds of business activities operating around structures that were famous symbols for commerce in Ghana after independence. But some of the people who work from there say it is a pale shadow of its former self. Justice Beidou reports.
The famous UTC building, once a signature monument of busy life in downtown Accra. Now abandoned and in ruins, it still towers over the city's central business district. The commercial life hasn't changed though. A chunk of Accra's business activity still happens here. And yet, the road network is run down. There are gaping potholes when you are driving from the UTC area heading up to the Central Post Office. Drivers and traders are the ones feeling the pinch the most.
Madam 25 years old Accra now a fact more than 8 years as we say.
I have driven in Accra for more than 25 years. This is where all the AMA buildings are, and yet all the roads are bad. Just a few minutes away from here is the office of the mayor, and look at the roads. If the government won't fix the roads for us, they should come and plant plantain trees on it for us. We don't have plantain in Accra. If they won't fix the roads, they should plant plantains for us.
Between Barclays Bank, all concerns say, may office near now consume only now say, oh, yeah.
Of town says, yeah, blah, 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 I am a say, oh, one down.
This road is like a dam. I think this is our share of government's one village, one dam. When it rains, this place floods, and when the sun comes out, it's extremely dusty. We are chased for tolls and levies, and yet look at where we sell from.
The trotro drivers here are also suffering because of the road. Our cars are always breaking down.
Elizabeth Oforiwa has been selling by this heavy pothole for years. She says the bad roads slow down business and put their life at risk. Accra's hustle and bustle happens from dawn to dusk every day. But the rough roads here remain a headache for those whose lives depend on it. Justice Beidou, Joy News, Accra.
The pupils of Yumba Special School in Tamale can now study peacefully as their school block has been completed. The 3-unit classroom block was started by government and left at the foundation level. An NGO, Shining Stars Foundation, has completed the building and fitted it with the needed logistics to make academic work easier. Correspondent Martina Bogre reports.
The Yumba Special School was built by government to shelter children with special needs. But over the years, infrastructure and subvention to the school continues to be a huge challenge. The school has largely depended on benevolence to survive. One of such group which continues to support the school is the Shining Star Foundation. Speaking at the commissioning of the facility, Director of the Shining Star Foundation, Reverend Dr. Cynthia Bentel, said the foundation has been running a feeding program for the school.
About a couple of years ago, we had a call to come to Yumba Special School. When we came, we saw so many needs. Among them was to help in feeding the children. So we came with goods, rice, so many things. But I realized that was not the only need here. It needed to be consistent. It wasn't just a one-time giving. So we pledged, knowing that God was going to help us, to put a feeding program in place, of which we diligently honored until the COVID came in and they had to stay at home.
She said even though the construction of the block was not factored in their plan, they had to adapt, considering the congestion in the school.
When we came, we also realized another need, a very, very important need. We saw children were overcrowded in a classroom that they had. We saw a foundation that had been laid for the classroom block, which are uncompleted. Just the thought of building a classroom block wasn't something we had planned. It looked like a huge task, but we committed ourselves that by the grace of God, with the help of God, there is nothing that is impossible, and that we were going to do it. And by God's grace, this is what we see now.
The head teacher of the Yumba Special School, Ephraim Tutu Brimpong, said children with special needs should not be neglected but supported. He thanked the Shining Star Foundation for their generosity.
Children with disabilities should not be neglected, but instead be given the best opportunities to develop to their optimum. Such opportunities come by way of appropriate education, provision of specialized or related services, and availability of specially trained and well-motivated personnel to handle children with disabilities.
The foundation also presented 20 wheelchairs and foodstuffs to the school.
Hello, welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwa. We begin from the northern region where the presiding member for the Tamale Metropolitan Assembly, Mohammed Al-Hassan, has raised concerns about food soldiers hijacking revenue collection points by the Assembly since 2017. He said this has made it difficult for the Assembly to raise revenue from these points. More in this report.
Speaking at the quarterly review meeting of the Regional Coordinating Council, Mr. Mohammed Al-Hassan said the food soldiers do not even approach the assemblies when they are seizing these revenue points. This, he said, is motivation for other food soldiers whose party are in waiting.
The challenges that we are confronted with in terms of our IGF mobilization, especially for the urban cities. Maybe the trend might not get to my brother from here, but I can tell you that for the urban cities like Tamale and Sanaru, we are really having a headache. I can confidently say that from 2017 up to date, there are revenue points that we haven't been able to approach as an assembly to take one from. The issue of them coming and saying that we want this, that's even in a more diplomatic way. In our case, they don't approve the assembly, they take the regular item, and nobody there goes close to them. I'm saying that from 2017 up to date, we haven't been able to approve them. The unfortunate thing in this is that it is motivating the others who are still sitting out there and waiting for their party to come in. And when their party comes in, they will come also to first. At the end of the day, it's the assembly and the good people of family. That's the first.
But the Northern Regional Minister, in his response, said The region is not a lawless state, therefore this cannot be allowed.
Who hijacked what? Are you telling me that we are living in a lawless country? You can't say that. It's an indictment on yourself. If you say that somebody has hijacked a railway checkpoint and you can't go there and ask for it, what are the security agencies doing? Why do you have it? Why is that there's supposed to be a DC, MC, or a mayor or something? A post. And you have been put there in trust. You have to work for the people of Ghana. So if you can't do that, it means you are not fit to be there. I can't take that. If I'm put in charge of something, make sure that I consume my mandate.
News, Asante Otumfuo said to the second has called on telecoms giant MTN to intensify efforts to clamp down on internet scam and mobile money fraud. He says the trend could be detrimental to the digitization drive the telecommunication companies are championing. The Asante said this when management of MTN paid a courtesy call on him at the Menchia Palace. There's more in this report.
The leadership of telecommunications giant MTN paid a courtesy call on the Asantehene as part of its 25th year anniversary. The Asantehene commended MTN for their contribution to digitization in the country and admonished them to strengthen their efforts to address the incidents of fraud. Some people use your company name to make false publications to deceive people on social media. We must curb this. He says the influence of fast internet is key to smooth business operations in the new digital era. During the peak of the pandemic, digitization was significant, and your outfit played a vital role for businesses. Otumfuo made these statements when MTN Ghana paid a courtesy call to the palace and donated a sum of 100,000 Ghana cedis to the Otumfuo Osei to the Second Education Fund. Managing Director of MTN, Mr. Selo Madadivo, says the company is committed to contributing more to education. He says MTN intends to expand education using the digital space.
Last quarter, you see 600-bed dormitory block at Tamale. Now, it was one students for almost a good environment.
We are helping several students to have a conducive learning space. All educational websites have now been made free for all users.
MTN network now about 200 educational websites and free.
And that's business. Sports is coming up next to stay tuned.
But that's it for News Desk. I'm Mr. Eli. Thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned in to the rest of our programs. Have a good day.